What is up, everybody? Welcome to our NFL Week 12 preview video for the NFC North. I about said for the Lions. For the NFC North, man. We got some big-time matchups this week. We can go on a division matchup. Packers are playing the Niners. Lions, local, playing the Colts. We're fired up for these matchups here. But before we get into any of those, man, let's give a shout out to BetUS, sponsor of today's show. YouTube 150, that is the code. You get 150% deposit match on your first deposit, 125% on your next two deposits. Right now, the lines are out for the NFC North winner. It feels like kind of a three-team race going on right here, but Nick's going to tell us why you should take the Bears at plus 100,000.
Listen, guys. Listen.
They got the same odds as the Giants. You see that peeking up top there?
No.
Any given Sunday, we got 5 NFC North games left. We got our first one under our belt. We made it entertaining. Who says that the Bears can't do it? Put $10 on it.
Vegas.
You might win
Vegas
big.
says it.
Listen, Vegas ain't controlling this one. I'm controlling it. Bears are winning it all, baby. Come on now.
All right, so actually go look for the Super Bowl odds because they have those as well. So yeah, YouTube 150, that's the code. Now let's dive into this week's slate, man. We'll save the NFC North matchup for the end. Let's go first with the Packers on this one because the Packers are hosting the San Francisco 49ers. This always feels like a big matchup. This always feels like a playoff type of matchup. I'm super excited for this one. I'll start with me first on this one. I'm actually going to take the Packers. I'm going to surprise the Packers fans. I think the Packers are going to win this football game. I think that the back end that we've seen from San Fran has been super concerning. I think they've won at Green. Teams have won at him a lot in this. Obviously, I got Nick Bosa, but this has been a great pass protecting unit. It's one thing you can rely on with the Packers. They're going to keep Jordan Love upright. He looks good. He'll throw some picks, but he looks good outside of that. He looks really good outside of that, and I think that he's going to absolutely torch this back end for Sanford in this game. Plus, the 49ers, man, CMC just doesn't look right. Like, if he looked like Christian McCaffrey, I'd be a little bit more maybe on their side. But honestly, when the backup Jordan Mason stepped in last week, I was like, they should probably keep going with that guy. Christian McCaffrey just looks like he's walking around. And not his fault, man. He's probably still dealing with his injuries. But regardless, they don't look right now. I like Brock Purdy making some things happen off script, but to be honest, there's an offense that I trust more, especially with CMC looking a little funny. It'd be the Packers. So I'm going to take the Packers this one. I think Love has a huge game. It'll be close. I think it'll be close. I'll go 27-24 Packers at home, get the win.
That's crazy. That's exactly what I have.
Oh, boy.
That's crazy. That's exactly what I'll just.
Bass, go to you, Bass. Go to you, Bass.
Yeah, I think Bosa being potentially out is the major thing. Like you said, the Packers protect Love very well. They're tied for first fewest sacks allowed to their quarterback, so they're doing a great job protecting Jordan Love. Although he was playing injured for most of the year so far. Kittle was on the injury report, but he was in his locker room today. And he's like, I'm playing. So that's something to monitor. He's a great tight end. We usually struggle against tight ends. The one thing I'll talk about here for a second is I saw an article kind of exploiting the 49ers offense. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but Shanahan doesn't allow his quarterback to change protections at the line of scrimmage. He has them pre-installed into plays. So teams are overloading one side on third down and making Purdy throw to a hot read short of the sticks every single time. So I think if the Packers do that and send certain pressures on crucial downs, sometimes Purdy will stand in pressure and throw back across the middle to Kittle for a big gain. But there's crucial downs, and you saw it in the Super Bowl last year. Kansas City, Spagnuolo did a great thing against them, and now teams are copying what he did. I think if Halfley can kind of take that install and pressure Purdy the way other teams have, force him into some uncomfortable situations, maybe get a couple interceptions on him. I think he has 8 on the year. I think the Packers, offense will be better than they were last week. Love with a second straight week, fully healthy. Keep running Josh Jacobs. The 49ers run defense is good, not great. I think Jacobs has been able to run against a lot of defenses, so it's in Green Bay. I think this is massive that it's obviously in Green Bay. The 49ers have had our number. It seems like for the past few years, Shanahan always has an answer for Matt LaFleur, and we get punched in the mouth and never really respond. I want it to be the other way around. I looked at their defense in terms of like quarter by quarter. They're really good in the first. They're pretty good in the second. They're pretty bad in the third, and they're horrible in the fourth. And it's why they've blown so many games in the third quarter. Like in terms of EPA per play, I think they're like 4th in the first quarter, and then like 28th in the fourth. So that kind of the wide span of how their defense just degrades as the game goes on. So the Packers, even if they don't start strong or don't go up big early, they can still, climb their way back in later in this game. Get turnovers. San Francisco's 25th in the league, third down defense. That's something the Packers struggled with last week against the Bears. So it's a get right game there. Their center is the worst pass blocking center in the NFL. So hopefully Kenny Clark can finally record a stat. Hasn't had a stat in 2 weeks straight. Hasn't had a pressure in 3 weeks straight. But yeah, and then just get the red zone offense going. But I am confident in the Green Bay Packers, but it will be a close game. The Niners are a good team. They're 5-5, but they're still a good team. And I already said it. I got the same score as you, Dion, 27-24.
Yeah, and it's big. I mean, they got Campbell in there now for Greenlaw, and it just feels like it's affecting that defense, man. I mean,
He's
that's
not good. I know that of all people. He ain't good.
All right, Nick, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, I hope, and I never thought I would say this, but I hope Green Bay does something at home, because the more San Francisco losses I have, the more likely Kyle Shanahan gets canned, because I'm looking for a new head coach, and I would love Shanahan to come to the Chicago Bears. So I know that a lot of that San Francisco fan base is not happy with him. I've been reading how he chokes in games. He doesn't do anything, like he used to do. He looks lost out there. I'm like, I think he looks good. I mean, he looks anything better than Matt Eberflus puts out there. But at the same time, San Francisco 49ers missing Bosa is going to be really, really big for the San Francisco team. And I think that it's going to be a close one. Green Bay, the weather's starting to change. Baz, you got a weather report for this Sunday?
Keep talking. I'll figure it out.
I think that, San Fran going to play at Lambeau. I mean, Packers have been very good at home this year. They've been, obviously they're coming off a huge win against the Green Bay, a huge morale win against the Chicago Bears. I mean, and a tight game, no doubt about that. But playing at home is a huge factor. Bass, how's that weather looking?
45 degrees. It's actually, I think it's snowing right there now, but Sunday, 45, cloudy, overcast. So, we'll see. Not crazy Green Bay yet.
Well, it's still much colder than San Fran, so I think that's going to be a factor in this one. I got the Green Bay Packers winning because they just are so good at home. I got the Green Bay Packers winning this one 28-21.
One bar. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna echo everything. I mean, if I'm the Packers, this is a big game, and the Niners have been a thorn in your side, Baz, like you said. I mean, This is, you want to go out there and you want to beat them on your turf and put them in the ground. The Niners are so weird. I mean, they're 5-5, but when they put it together, they're obviously a very, very good team. To me, this comes down to the final injury report. There's some big names on there. We'll see who ends up playing for the Niners. But I mean, this is the Packers. I keep comparing it to the Vikings. Like the last few wins, that they haven't been overly getting you excited, building that confidence, but you're getting dubs. This is the type of game for me. The Packers go beat San Francisco, regardless of how they do it. This is a huge win. This is a huge momentum changer. And Nick, it's funny that you said that. Like in the back of my mind, I've been seeing your videos, been watching as far as you want the Niners to lose, man. You want Shanahan to crap the bed. You want a good coaching candidate out there. But long story short, I do have the Packers winning. I got 24-22 Green Bay, and shocker, I got Jordan Love throwing 0 interceptions.
Let's go. That's a win.
Oh, boy. Bass, are you a little bit nervous that everybody took the Packers?
Nah. Usually I would be.
That nod, you can hear it a little bit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. All right. I'm surprised by that, man. All right, we'll move to the Lions game. Save the NFC North game. Lions in Indianapolis this week. Look, man, the Colts, they're kind of like the Niners, I guess. They're a little bit weird. They just bench Richardson. He comes back, plays the best game of the season. Who is this guy? I'll be honest, though, as a Lions fan, I thought there's been some games this year. Ben Johnson, want to see how he did against Minnesota. I think this is going to be a huge test for Aaron Glenn, because Aaron Glenn, what he's going to have to deal with in terms of just how unique their run game is something that you just don't get in the NFL. You feel like you're playing a college offense with Anthony Richardson. Everybody's involved in the run game. Richardson's a real threat, and I just had weird flashbacks when we had to deal with Sam Darnold a couple years ago when he was in Carolina and he just torched us, and I was like, what's going on? Who is this guy? He cooked us with his legs, man, and I'm like, hopefully this is – I think Shane Steichen's an excellent coach, man. I think offensively he's really smart, man. He can get guys open, and he may find ways to exploit a couple of coverages. Richardson made some big-time throws. I think it's going to be a huge test for Aaron Glenn. I think the Lions are going to have to find a way to put up points in this game, because I think the Colts will not settle at 10. This is not going to be one of those things where we shut a team down. I don't expect that to be the case here. So I'm, of course, going to take the Lions in this one, but I think that the Colts are going to put up some points, and they're going to battle with us, and I think this one could go way down to the wire. So I'm going to take the Lions 26-23. It's going to be a hard-fought battle on the road. I love the Colts environment. I feel like that's a tough place to play. I think it's super loud in there. Those fans are super invested, man. Then you got the weird window thing. I don't know if that's going to be open or not, but overall, it's just a weird team, man. Remember they just do goofy stuff left and right, but they're a big play team. They can make 2 mistakes and then have 3 monster plays that makes it a game. That's my concern here. So I think they're going to score 26-23. I got the Lions. Bass, where you at?
You're giving them a lot of credit, and I just
I am.
can't do it because I've seen what the Lions are doing to NFC South teams, and we were talking about it on Wednesday. I'm like, we're going to be sitting here next Wednesday laughing about another NFC South team until the Lions prove that otherwise. I'm going to continue to take it. The Indianapolis defense has given up 27 plus 2 straight games. I think Lions can simply just run the ball. The Packers ran the hell out of the ball against the Colts, so just run the ball over and over and over again with Montgomery, with Gibbs. You might not even need to pass it that much. And Detroit's defense has been insane recently. Under 15 points the last 3 of 4 games. This is versus Anthony Richardson. I do agree that maybe he could get off script a little bit, run the ball, and that could move the ball a couple times, but it's not going to be enough. I got Detroit 35-17.
Woo. Okay, one bar. What do you think?
Dion, you're just being modest. I think you're toying with us at this point. Like, it might be a game. 26-23. The Colts
watching
are good.
the same Anthony Richardson. I know.
And, Dion, I'm not falling for it, man. I like your style. I'm not falling for it. The Lions are going to win probably 100-0. I mean, give me a break. The Lions are absolutely demolishing everybody. Here's. I want to give a little credit to the Colts. Like, hey, maybe they come out. Maybe Taylor gets the running game going. Maybe they can start to control the clock a little bit. It's easy to say. There's no way in hell it's going to happen. The Colts are just not good. I mean, Richardson actually had a pretty good game last week. He came back after being benched and came out and played fairly well. That said, the Lions are just too much. Explosive play is consistent play by Goff. The running game. I mean, I don't even know. I got like 31-10, and that's them taking the foot off the gas. No Hendon Hooker this week, but they're going to spank them.
Man, hey, to be fair, I took the Colts to win the division this year. So that part of me feels like I have to kind of stick to that. Like, I have belief in the Colts. That was a pretty good team. And then last week, he was like, hey, they look pretty good. That's not I mean, I guess they didn't even look that good, to be honest. They stuck by the Jets. But Richardson looked pretty good. I don't know, man. Nick, what do you think? I'm crazy?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I'm looking at the AFC South right now. Colts are in second place. They're not out of it yet. They're going to be battling pretty hard in order to try to keep their playoff hopes alive. And we always talk about a trap game. This could be the trap game for the Lions. Indianapolis is a tough place to play, but with how they have been doing, I could see also another crazy outcome by the Detroit Lions. I'm not going to go 48-10 like I did last time, but I feel like something could happen here. I think it's going to be a lot closer. I still think the Lions are the better team here, just overall. I think that Lions defense is just too good for Anthony Richardson. I got the Lions winning this one 28-24.
Same ballpark there. Okay.
There you go.
All right, we'll take that. All right, let's move on to the big one, man. NFC North matchup. Minnesota in Chicago. Look, man, I'm going to go right to you, one bar. How's this thing going to go down?
No, I think it's gonna be a close game. Spoiler, I think it's gonna be a good game. Bears losing 4 straight, 2 of those things heartbreaking fashion. My hope is that they're just so defeated, just so like, you know what, we're doing everything we can and we're losing these things at the last second. Like I want the Bears to come out and just be completely flat, but that's not what we saw last week. I mean, they fire their OC, they come in, their offense, nobody can doubt that the fact that their offense was better. Caleb Williams looked way better. He's getting the ball out faster. He's running some good plays with his legs. But the thing is, the Bears have struggled all year offensively in pretty much every major category. I mean, when you look at where they're ranked, you can't just take a wand and all of a sudden, like, their new offensive coordinator is like, everything's fixed, even though they look pretty good against the Packers. So they got to do that thing 2 weeks in a row. We'll see what happens. I mean, obviously defense is their strength. Can they keep the Vikings under control? Their offense, probably. I mean, I don't think this is going to be an overly high scoring game. I don't think the Vikings need a ton of points to win this game. I honestly think 14 points could get a dub in this game. We just Caleb Williams can't come out and all of a sudden having a coming out party. Vikings have been mildly notorious in years past as far as letting that rookie quarterback come out and just boom, lights it up. And I'm a little worried about that, especially coming off of last week. But what I like about this for the Vikings is that Caleb Williams does take a ton of sacks, and the Vikings do get a ton of sacks, and the Vikings do get a ton of interceptions. And I think Brian Flores, when all is said and done, is gonna have a little bit of fun with Caleb Williams. I think he gets sacked 5+ times. I think he throws at least 1 interception. The big thing is DeAndre Swift, whether he's going to play or not. That is absolutely huge for this. But I got the Vikings winning 20-10. I think this is going to be a good game. And Nick, honestly, I'm not looking past this game whatsoever. This is going to be the toughest matchup they've had in a handful of weeks. So I'm a little nervous about it.
Well, I'm honored that you're saying that. I don't know if you're trying to do the reverse thought
No,
process.
I've tried that.
but-
I've tried that. It doesn't work. So this is
No.
real.
No, I mean, like, after the way Chicago played last week with Thomas Brown and everything that we saw, I feel a lot better entering this game. But man, that Vikings defense against the Bears offensive line, that just scares me a lot. I mean, I know it's at home. I know that Chicago fans are feeling a little bit better morale wise this week, but at the same time, like, good Lord, that Brian Flores' blitz defense and Caleb Williams is going to be something to go after. So overall, I think that's going to be a good game. I'm not taking it like, oh, we're going to get crushed. I've definitely had much lower expectations against the Packers. But I think that Minnesota, you guys just have such a good wide receiver room. We are potentially going to be missing DeAndre Swift. That's a big factor. I got the Bears. I never bet against them. I got the Bears. I think this will be a close game. If the Bears win it, I think it'll be 21-17.
Okay. Bass, what do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough divisional game, obviously. I still think Minnesota is going to be too tough to handle for the Bears. Chicago has looked better. We saw last week, offense more in tune. But again, this is against the Packers defense. As much as I do like them, they're not Minnesota. And they don't have as much pass rush weapons, right? Like you guys have Grenard, Van Ginkel, Pat Jones. Like all guys have more pressures than our top guy, I believe. So they're going to be able to get over or get after Caleb Williams. And I think what the Packers didn't do well enough is send disguise pressures, simulated pressure. Once they lose Jair, they kind of just like sit back, right? And I think the Vikings aren't going to do that. And they're going to try to confuse the hell out of Caleb Williams. And I think they will. Minnesota against quarterbacks, their rating allowed is 79.4, which is fifth best. So I'm excited to see Flores versus Caleb Williams. And I think the Vikings should win this one. I do think it's going to be close, though. It's a divisional matchup, and the Bears are a good defense as well. I think 21-17.
Man, I absolutely think that the Bears shot is they have to lean on their defense. Like, this has to be a low scoring game, I think, to have any shot. So big thing for me is like you got to find a way to just take the run game completely out of it for the Vikings, because I know One Bar brought this up on Wednesday that it hasn't really been there recently. If that's there, I think this thing could get out of hand. Plus, I heard Caleb Williams answer to like playing Brian Flores, and it didn't make me feel good about like dealing with how much Brian Flores is going to throw at him. This might feel like a cop-out answer, but like the only way the Bears win this game, there's one way to win. It's low scoring. They get Darnold to throw a couple interceptions because they can't run the football, and they have a very good defense in the back end. I'm actually taking the Bears this week. I don't know why I did that, but when I posted my picks a couple days ago, I took the Bears. I'm like, oh, I got to stick with it. So I'm going to like 17-15. I'm going to take the Bears.
15.
But I could yeah, 17-15. I don't know. But I could honestly see this thing being an absolute blowout, bro. Like, I think if it's not that weird score where the Bears do some funky things and find a way to win, I think that Caleb Williams could look completely lost. And at last drive give me some hope. But outside of that, this could be awful. I could see him holding the ball way too long, and this thing gets out of hand fast. So, but I'm going to take the Bears. There's a little bit of hope. A little bit of hope there. Vikings, let's lose a game. All right? Just lose one. Let's just create a little bit of cushion.
I'm fine with it. I just don't
little
see
bit
it.
of less. It's all right. Look, man, let's share the wealth a little bit. The Bears need a win. All right, One Bar. Let's let everybody have some fun here.
Yeah, come on.
Well, with that, man, that's our pick. Oh, go ahead, One Bar.
No, I was gonna say we'll give it to him later in the season. Not now. We need this.
All right, man. That's our picks for Week 12. Join us back again on Wednesday to recap, and then next Friday to make our picks for Week 13 at that time. Shout out to BetUS YouTube 150. That is the code to get that 150% deposit match on your first deposit, 125% on your next two deposits. Last words, Bass, you got anything?
Let's beat San Fran. Go Pack, go. I need Matt LaFleur to have a get-right game and get back against Shanahan.
I'm with it. Nick?
You know, go bear down. Hopefully, we finally get a division
What were you about
win.
to say?
Oh, hey, hold
go,
up,
you
man.
said go something. What were you about to say?
I was gonna say go Bears, go Bears, but everyone's saying
Make sure.
their thing. So bear down Chicago. Also, I mean, hey, go Pack, go! I've beat the 49ers, so
Clip it.
Kyle Shanahan becomes my head coach. But that's the only time you'll ever see me rooting for that. But yeah, absolutely. I think bear down. I think it'll be a good game this upcoming weekend, and we'll see what the Bears do this week. Hopefully, Thomas Brown can keep things cooking.
One Bar?
Man, Nick, go wash your mouth out with soap after saying that, man. Yeah, hey, Vikings Bears. It's gonna be a great game, and the best part is the Packers play the late game. If I think I'm right, so it's gonna be a perfect Sunday. Nobody cares about the Lions. They're gonna spank the hell out of the Colts, so I'm not even gonna watch that thing till afterwards. But it's gonna be a good game, good weekend of football. I'm looking forward to it.
I didn't know it was a night game. Now I'm fine.